American Indians in Texas at the Spanish Colonial Missions, has participated in National Poetry Month for the last 3 years with our initiative, Storytime with Grandma Coyote, where we share indigenous stories in specific important San Antonio locations. This week's special Season 3 finale was filmed live on location at Natural Bridge Caverns.
Just talking to the cavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey friends, we're here for the last episode of Storytime with Grandma Coyote on location at Natural Bridge Caverns. Right now we are about 70 feet underground exploring the Discovery Tour. It's been a beautiful day here on location at Natural Bridge Caverns. We've had a wonderful day of exploring the caves and the systems and learning about the formations here. Of course, today's episode is focused on caverns and rocks and stones and the stories they tell. Grandma Emma, you've written a special new story for us today,
Yes,
right?
yes. All the stories today are new stories. They just came
Beautiful.
This last weekend without knowing that we were coming to the caverns. That was strange. The first one, it's a story that takes part in the caverns in the Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
I love to travel in that area, and it always inspires and brings back memories. And this is a story about a blackbird who lived in the caverns. And every day he would go out and he would pick out little stones that he liked and bring them home, sticks that he would find, and they reminded him of different animals. Some looked like eagles, some looked like bears, all the animals that he would see around him, and he would bring them home. Sometimes a little piece of fur, a feather, a piece of sinew, and he had all these wonderful treasures. At least that's what he called them. He called them his treasures. And one day, looking around, he found this beautiful, beautiful blue stone. It was prettier than all the stones that he had ever seen. So, of course, he brought it home. And so he placed the stone in a very special place, and he talked to the stone all the time. The stone never said anything to him. he would talk to the stone again and tell it how beautiful it was, and thank you for coming to me, for letting me see you. The stone would not answer him. And then one day he was out looking for treasures. He came back and he hears, hey, 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 yeah, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey. And he looks in, and it's a stone singing. I said, if the stone can sing, then the stone can talk. So he goes up to the stone and says, my beautiful friend, I did not know that you could sing and you could talk. Why haven't you talked to me? I've talked to you. Why haven't you talked to me? And the stone tells him, I didn't know what kind of person you were. And I'm not going to talk to you if you're not a good fella. But you are a good fella. She says, I have so many secrets, so many things I can tell you, so many things I can show you. I can talk to you about the things of long ago, about the people that were first here before anybody else was here. He said, I am so happy that I can show you all this. I can also tell you about the different stones to collect, to gather, to give to the people, because the people of long ago have used all these stones for healing. They sing the song, they do the dances, they heal different things. I can show all this to you. And then I want you to teach the people so they can continue healing. He said, but I'm going to ask of you, find a string, find a sinew, find a little strip of something and make a necklace and put it around your neck. Always carry me with you. And so he did as the stone had told him. And she took him here and there and everywhere, gathering stones and said, this is healing for this is healing for that, and this and that. He said, give them to the people. And he did. And the people were so grateful to receive the stones. And that then she took him to a special cave. And in this cave, this area, there was these stones like her. They were in blues. They were in blues and greens. They were in different shades of blues, different shades of greens. Some had brown in them. She said, I am a healing stone. I am a growing stone. I am a protector. Give them to the people. Give me to the people. So he started sharing all this stone with everybody else. And then the people asked him, can we gather some stones, different ones, and make necklaces for our relatives? They said, of course, of course. He said, but remember, you have to respect the stones. Always respect the stone. They're not for just throwing at each other or playing with them or that. There's healing behind them. Always respect the stones. And so they did. And today, when you wear turquoise, you're always protected. You're always protected. And it is a growing stone. It never stops growing. It never stops changing colors. It always keeps changing. Aho.
Aho. That's probably one of my new favorite stories then. So you know how much I love stones and rocks.
Yes.
Well, who doesn't?
Yes.
But this is like a really great new story. I love this one. Did you come out by yourself?
No, Donovan.
Oh, okay, of course.
Donovan and I came up this weekend, and we came up with 6 different stories.
Great.
So he gets credit for the stories. I would say, what do you think of this? And then he would tell me, well, how about this? And we would go back and forth and changing different ideas.
Well, thank you, Donovan. We've been loving your stories. Thanks for helping us.
So, do you want to do another one here or somewhere else?
Let's find another location for the next story.
Okay.
Cool.
See you in a little bit.
Today's focus has been really heavy on caves and stones and the messages that they share with us and the way that stones can transmit messages or feelings to ours and how they can bring healing.
You and I have been having such a great day talking about stones all day. We've seen so many wonderful rock formations, stalagmites and stalactites, and learning the difference. It's been a wonderful day. I just can't.
And huffing and puffing up.
Oh my God, it was a little tough doing the last end of that trail. It's a lot of steep trails inside that cavern. It was really warm in there. I was surprised by how hot it was inside.
Well, there was a lot of humidity and there was a lot of droplets coming down, a lot of rain. Everything was wet. But we made it.
Yeah. And that water made everything glitter so beautifully inside the cavern. And so I can only imagine what it's like to be inside the cavern during a rainstorm. I bet the experience inside there is just incredible to have like all that water rushing down the sides of the walls and filling in the cavern. I bet that's an experience I'd love.
I don't swim. No.
Yeah, it would be a little scary, I think. Yeah.
I'm a fire person. I'm not a water person, so you can have it. So, today has been news stories, and the stories all weekend just kept coming and kept coming. It was funny because I had no intentions of writing stories about stones, but when they come, you say thank you for the gift, and you write them down. And that's why I'm going to have to read because it came so fast. I was just writing down, and hopefully I could read my own writing because it was scribbling. And this is, again, I go to the Southwest, to the canyons, to the caverns. And this time, in the canyons, there also lived a skinny black bird. Well, he really wasn't black. He had feathers in all different colors. He was a strange-looking little bird. He was kind of skinny, scrawny. One leg was shorter than the other. The hair, his crown of hair, some was spiky, some was hanging down. He had one eye. He was really a mess. But he went all day long gathering, looking for different stones. And some were red and some were fire red and some were orange and some were green, some were yellow, some were black, and some were so clear you could see right through them. He loved his stones. Not too far from there was a village in the canyon, like there still are. There's still people living in the canyons. And he loved the people. He was always by himself. Nobody wanted to be around him because he looked so different. And so he would go near the people in the village, and the children would throw stones at him and throw rocks at him and laugh at him and make fun of him. So he would fly away, wobbly, and walk away and just hide and cry because he was so lonely, so lonely. In that area, a great sickness came. Everybody was getting sick. All the people were getting sick, and they were dying. And the funny-looking bird, he knew what these stones were all about. He knew he could heal them, but he was so afraid to go down there because he knew they wanted to get rid of him, and they could. They could hurt him with all these things, the sticks and rocks and everything that they threw at him. But he still loved the people, even though they didn't care for him. And so he went around at night, leaving different stones at different houses, at all the lodges. He would leave all these unusual stones. And all these stones were healing stones. He knew that. And then he would make a noise with his crooked beak, and the people would come out and see the stones, and they'd bring them in. And gradually the people started to heal. Mm-hmm. And they didn't know what was happening. And then somebody said, well, it was that funny-looking bird that came dropping all these stones for us. He said, oh, he did that? He said, yes, he came at night. And the best he could with his crooked beak, he would carry a stone, go get another, and carry a stone and get another. So then the people started realizing that all the stones that he had brought were healing stones. And he healed all the people. So then they went looking for him in the canyons, in the steep canyons, and they found him. And they told him, we're so sorry that we did what we did to you and treat you like we did. come be with us.
Mm-hmm.
We love you. We want you. We want to show you that we are sorry for what we did. So now he's not alone anymore. He goes and be there with him and play with him. And I guess that's where the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. So there has to be a reason for everything. And this is where that saying might have come from. Oh,
Oh, what a great story. And again, it's another of those stories that we talk about, like last week, was we really focused heavily on appreciation, right? And that's like a theme that's been carried on throughout the whole month of like how we have to show people and the creatures that we love appreciation while we still have them. The same goes for like stones and the grandparent spirits that live inside of them. That's all we have to learn to appreciate them and their wisdom.
and they sing.
Oh, yeah.
They sing. I mean, people, when I say that, people, yeah, right. They do. If you listen, you can hear them sing. You can hear the butterflies sing. You can hear everything sings. Everything has a rhythm. Everything has a movement, something. Because that is the way the world circulates in rhythm. Everything, the way the clouds move, the way a stone rolls down a mountain or down a hill or anything. There's a rhythm to everything, and it has a voice. So we have to remember to appreciate all these things.
Absolutely. Totally. Oh, such a good lesson.
Yeah.
So, Grandma, what story do you have for us next?
It would not be a complete day for me if I didn't tell a Coyote story.
Of course.
Coyote is my buddy. I love Coyote. And one time, Coyote was walking about, and it was late at night, and he came upon a village where there were a lot of elders sitting around, men and women elders, and there was a fire going on. It was a beautiful night, and they were talking about whatever they were talking about. They were laughing and talking and visiting, and Coyote's coming around, and he sees what's going on, and Coyote being Coyote, he wants to know what's going on. And so very quietly he sneaks up near where they are and kind of hides to listen to what is happening. And the elders are saying, I heal in this way. I use this stones, and I use this stone for anxiety, and this one's for protection, and this one's for loss of hair, and this one's for fertility. So they're just talking about sharing their experiences with stones and herbs and everything. And Coyote says, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'll even do it better. And I'll be so good at it that they'll pay me. That's all he could hear, that they'll pay me to heal them. Well, all this time, Butterfly had been flying about, listening to him talk of what he was saying, because he's always talking out loud. He never keeps his mouth shut. And so off he went, and he started gathering stones on all different colors. He didn't know what they were for, but he was just picking up stones, tying them with a string and putting them around his neck. He walked about, saw another stone, got that one, tied it around, put it. Well, after a while, he has a whole neck full of stones, and he's dragging these stones around and dragging the stones around. And he goes to the village and say, hey, come see me, talk to me. I am a healer. I am Coyote. I am a great healer. Come to me. Nobody came. So he got real upset, and he went to the next village, and again, hey, it is me, Coyote. Come talk to me. I am a great healer. I can let your hair grow. I can do all these things for you. Come talk to me. Nobody came. Well, he kept going from village to village to village, and nobody would come. And then one night, he heard some people laughing and laughing. He says, they really played a good trick on Coyote. Butterfly came and told us what he wanted to do, and he wanted to get paid for it. So none of us did. We all decided we're not going to go. Mm-hmm. We're not going to go to him at all. Oh, he was so angry when he heard that here he'd been dragging all these necklaces and dragging them and huffing and puffing. Not too far from there was a river, And he went over there and he just got so mad, he just grabbed all the necklaces and threw them into the water. Fool Coyote didn't realize that the necklaces were around his neck. So the water got all those stones and the water got Coyote. But that's all right. Coyote never dies. Coyote always comes back. And there's always a coyote around. So be careful. Because what did he want to do? He wanted to make something all the time. Get paid. Not just gift something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too good to be too greedy all
That's
the
right.
time. He's always greedy.
Oh.
But I love him.
Oh, Coyote's such a great teacher. Teaching you the best parts of being an adult, of being human, and then like the worst parts too.
Yeah.
That's a great thing about animals. They teach us lessons on how to be better humans.
And he is a healer.
Absolutely.
He is definitely a healer. He heals in so many, without knowing. He gets himself in trouble and then he'll turn right around because he's so clever. He'll get himself out of it.
That's right.
But it's fun watching him get into these things because we get into those things.
Yeah.
But we're so clever we get out of it. Oh, thank you.
Oh.
So it's been a beautiful day. Wonderful day. The experiences. And the reason, that's why I'm wearing all these necklaces for Coyote. I just have to be careful not to throw them into the river.
Good time.
Thank you, baby.
Can you tell us the story of why you go by Grandma Coyote?
The reason I go by Grandmother Coyote, there's always been a coyote in me. My mother always used to tell me because I love meat. And she always called me her coyotita. She said, ay, mi coyotita, mi coyotita. We didn't have meat too often. And one time she would buy round steak and kind of tenderize it, salt and pepper and flour and fry it like that. It was so good. Well, I came home from school and she said, ¿Tienes hambre? Are you hungry? I said, sí, mamá. She said, hay carne. So I went into the little area of the kitchen and on the table was a plate of meat. Well, I was hungry. I ate it all. I did not realize that was a supper for my daddy and her and I. But I ate it all. So she goes in and, ¿Te la comiste todo, mija? Pues sí, mamá. Never raised her voice at me. And so, in a way, I've always been called Coyotita since I was little because of the meat. But Grandmother Coyote comes, one day I was in a place like this just looking at nothing, just looking around how pretty it was, looking at stones and rocks, and just seeing how pretty and see which ones were talking to me to come home. And I heard Grandmother Coyote. Nobody. So I kept going on what I was doing, and I heard Grandmother Coyote. I'm going, who the heck is calling me or saying Grandmother Coyote? And I walked some more down the path, and I heard Grandmother Coyote. I said, okay, that's what you're supposed to be. I was just Grandmother Emma. That's how I became Grandmother Coyote. I never found out where it was coming from, and so I didn't question it. There was a reason for me to take that on. And yeah, there's a trickster in this old woman somewhere. It was right.